What is going on, party people? Happy Tuesday. I had to think about what day it was for a second here. They all kind of, blend into each other. Maybe you guys can relate. But it is Tuesday, February 22nd. And what I want to do in this video is walk you through. I want to do a meal log audit of one of my clients who's in the program and just give you guys an insight on how we don't have to be perfect to still see some progression. And I think that this gentleman's meal log is going to illustrate that well. Now, this is a weekend. This was Saturday. This is the past Saturday. And he's got kids. He works a full-time job, wife, all the things, right? And so weekends are tough. Weekends are tough for anybody in general. And then if you have kids, if you have a wife, and you want to do dinners and all that stuff, it can be really challenging. And so I want to just kind of help you guys navigate through how we can find that balance with our weekends without going off the rails too much. And then we'll look at this gentleman's meal log as a reference, and I'll kind of show you some of the areas that he did. I think he made decent choices, and some of the things that maybe we could have done better. Okay, so without further ado, so first off, he started his day out with a protein shake, which I think is a great idea. So he knocked off 30 grams of protein right off the bat. And the reason why we encourage this is because protein is a really complex calorie that's going to leave you feeling fuller longer, right? So if you eat like a muffin or a scone or a pastry, you're starving again in like an hour, and it tacks on calories so fast that it's really easy to blow over your calorie target really quickly, depending on food choice. And so he probably knew that he was going to do lunch out and dinner out, it looks like. And so because of that, he went ahead and had a protein shake in the morning just to make sure that he got ahead of it. So that was a good thing. Now, lunch, listen, I love a good burger too. I love a good chicken sandwich. You just got to be cognizant of the sodium levels. And so now what happened with him is that his sodium was just so high for the day that he ended up gaining like 2 pounds of water weight the next morning, not because of how many calories he had. His calories were actually under his limit, right? He only had 1,700 calories, but because his sodium levels were so high, he puffed up like 2 pounds of water weight. And that can be frustrating when you're trying to lose body fat to see that scale go up. It wasn't body fat. It was just water weight, but still that 2 pounds can take, a week to pull off before you start to see the scale go in the right direction again. And so that'd be my only thing here is like, I get it, delicious. And sometimes, hey, listen, ultimately calories are king, you know what I mean? So if you can make it fit into your calorie budget and you want to have like a burger or chicken sandwich, go ahead, but just know that you're probably going to gain a couple of pounds of water weight the next day. And that's just the trade-off you're making, okay? So that was his lunch. And then for dinner, he went out again. Looks like he had a couple of hot links. He loves his hot dogs. I know this guy, Texas guy, I won't mention any names here, but he loves his hot dogs. Good old American food. But in his credit, he made it fit. He made it work, right? So lunch was only 580 calories. It's a trade-off. It's the best of both worlds, right? So he got to have a couple hot dogs with his young son, delicious chicken sandwich for lunch, and didn't exceed his calorie ceiling. Now his protein, almost 100 grams, not bad. His fats were a little high, and carbs 100. Ideally, I'd want him around probably 120, 130 grams of protein a day, fats down to like 60, and his carbohydrates, around like 150 or something like that would be ideal. But on the weekends, I recommend to my clients, hey, just don't go over your calorie ceiling. It's okay if your protein, carb, and fat ratios are a little bit off one day a week. We want to create a lifestyle out of this. We don't want to be just super restrictive and depriving ourselves. You want to have a little fun. And so I think he did a perfect job of that, of really weaving the things that he enjoys in. The trade-off was sodium levels that did cause him to put on a couple of pounds in water weight, but he was able to get the things that he liked in, and he honored his calorie ceiling, which is still going to keep him in a caloric deficit, which means he's long-term going to burn fat from these kind of food choices. And so that would be like a typical Saturday audit. This might not be everyone's preference as far as food choice is concerned. You can figure out what that looks like for you. Maybe it's big brunch with pancakes, maybe it's a couple of drinks at night, but figure out what your trade-off is, what your occasional indulgence that you like. In his case, he likes a chicken fried sandwich and some hot links, but maybe for you it's some wine, or it's chocolate, or it's a little ice cream, or it's a big brunch. Figure out like what your thing is, and then realize like, hey, you can eat anything you want, technically, just not everything you want. And as long as you're willing to practice a little restraint, make a decision. I can have it. I can have what I want. I won't go over my calorie ceiling, but I run the risk of maybe sodium levels being a little too high, for example. And that's okay. It's water weight. It'll come off eventually. But this is the big thing you guys always want to keep in mind, is like, where am I at with my calories, right? So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed that. Hope that found that helpful. If you want a little bit more information on what this looks like for you specifically, I'm going to drop a link in the somewhere either above or below, where you can book a complimentary phone call with me personally. And we can talk about what a specific meal plan looks like for you, realistically how long it's going to take to get to your goal. Maybe you got 20 pounds, 30, 40, 50 pounds to lose. What we do is we basically figure out what your goal is and then reverse engineer a customized plan to get you there. And everything we do is guaranteed. So if you don't get to your goal, we keep working with you for free, or you get your money back. So pretty cool stuff. So book a call with me and we can talk more about that. Otherwise, if you want, drop a comment below on maybe some future content that you'd like to see as well. Okay, I'll talk to you guys there. Bye.